for the recent attack where no fewer than 87 people were killed in Yobe State. You will recall that the terrorists struck Mafa town around 4 p.m. on Sunday, killing residents and burning homes and shops. Yesterday, reports emerged that the remains of 37 villagers who lost their lives during the attack were recovered. It was also revealed that the bodies of the victims had been taken to Babangida General Hospital in preparation for a mass burial scheduled for 10 a.m. The burial is to be attended by Yobe State Deputy Governor Honorable Idi Barde Gubana, along with other senior government officials. Sources who spoke to journalists earlier noted that no fewer than 87 people were killed by the terrorists in the latest attack. ISWAP admitted to the attack in a letter written in Arabic obtained today. They claimed the villagers were targeted for supposedly giving information to the military, which resulted in the death of their members. Meanwhile, Aliko Dangote has revealed that petrol produced from his 650,000 barrels per day refining facility will hit filling stations in the next 48 hours as modalities with the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and NPCL are formalized. Dangote said this today during a press briefing announcing the formal production of petrol at the refinery. Asked to speak on the pricing of the product, Dangote explained that it is an arrangement designed and approved by the Federal Executive Council led by President Bola Tinubu. The refinery, which was initially troubled by regulatory battles, hopes to achieve its full capacity of 650,000 barrels per day by the end of the year. In the same vein, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and NPCL has reached an agreement to sell crude oil to Dangote Petroleum Refinery in Naira. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority and MDPRA made this confirmation today via its X handle. According to the authority, the NNPCL reached an agreement to commence crude oil sale and supply to Dangote Refinery in the local currency. The agency also said the refinery was determined to supply an initial 25 million liters per day of the premium motor spirit PMS into the domestic market in September 2024, adding that the refinery will increase the volume to 30 million liters per day in October. In a recent development, Binance Holdings Limited today expressed readiness to settle any alleged past issues with the Nigerian government. To this end, the cryptocurrency trading platform urged the Nigerian government to release its detained executive, Tigran Gambarian. On Monday, Gambarian was arraigned at the Federal High Court in Abuja for alleged money laundering. Upon appearance, he was denied a wheelchair and had to enter the court on crutches, visibly in pain and distress. His lawyers had filed a new bail application on medical grounds, as well as alleged restricted access to him for trial preparation. But the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) opposed the bail application. The company condemned the decision of the Nigerian government to deny him a wheelchair during Monday's proceedings. A statement by the spokesperson of Binance condemned the mistreatment and pain he's enduring. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has warned the police commissioner in the state, Olatunji Disu, as well as other officers to desist from abandoning their core professional responsibilities to pursue vested political interests. According to the governor, such may eventually hurt them in the long run. Governor Fubara made the statement during the inauguration and the formal handover of 100 operational vehicles acquired by his administration to the Rivers State Police Command at the Sharks Football Stadium in Port Harcourt today. The governor said police officers are engaged and trained as professionals to protect lives and properties while contributing to the desired peace in the state as a patriotic duty. You will recall that the state governor is currently embroiled in a political battle with his predecessor, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, over alleged control of state resources. While now joining me to discuss issues on the news this evening, I have via the telephone political analyst and journalist, Mr. Awa Omiko. It's always a pleasure to have you right here on the news. Thank you so much for joining me. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you so much. Mr. Omiko, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, loud and clear.
Thank you so much. We're beginning with insecurity, which is one of the issues that Nigerians in many regions, especially the north, have had to grapple with for the longest time right now. Recently, the Islamic State West Africa province came out to claim responsibility for the attack that happened in Yobe State on Sunday. This attack claimed 87 lives, and they're claiming that the reason why they attacked the village was because certain residents supposedly gave information to the military, and this information resulted in the deaths of their members. Now, just 2 days ago, the president directed defense chiefs to relocate to Sokoto State in order to combat insecurity, and of course, they did that today. Also, sometime last week, the Chief of Defense Staff met with other ECOWAS Chiefs of Defense Staff, of course, to discuss security and how to secure our borders and all of that. With all of these moves that have been made, why does it feel that bandits are even more emboldened? Sometime during the weekend, I think it was on Friday or Saturday, a notorious bandits reportedly seized our Nigerian military's armored personnel carrier, even though the army came out to say that did not happen. But with the spate of insecurity, would we be seeing this ending anytime soon? What can the people in the north do if they cannot live in their villages and they cannot go to their farms?
I believe there are a lot of conspiracies going in between our security architecture.
Conspiracy?
And yes, it is still conspiracy within the force, that sabotage.
So where could that be coming from?
That sabotage is coming within the security of architecture. The security officers themselves are not yet. They are not patriotic. They are nationalists, but not patriotic. A nationalist will think of his people, will think of his enclave, will think of has a parochial motive of trying to maintain the dignity and the unity of an enclave. A patriot thinks of the country. They are patriotic. A patriot will think of the unity of the nation. A patriot puts the nation first. And now look at any survey. Take a critical look of the post of the armored car seized that posted the social media. You will discover that not even a shot was aimed at the body. It was a calculated attempt to hand over weaponry to the people. And until we take the issue of security architecture serious, we can never stop this banditry.
Wait, Mr. Awaomiko, that is a very weighty allegation, because we're even getting reports that now the bandits, the terrorists, they literally burned all this up. If it was a handover, would they do that?
The army came out to say it never happened. And is that not a conspiracy on its own? Whereas by right, all those people that went to that should be even placed and fired if they are to be countries like Japan and China. Then by now they shouldn't be breathing, because they are doing grievous harm to this country. And they are making sure that once there is no security, there is no arm of the economy that will ever stand. Because that is the third leg of the country, or the third leg of the economy. Once there's no peace. That is exactly what it means. And be that it may, look at what has just happened at that community in Sokoto State, and they're still denying it that it never happened. So look, it is a matter of, let us go back to what IDB did when they formed the COMOG. We need to come together. These West African countries, except those of them sharing borders, need to come together and form a common security apparatus. Until they do that, nothing will ever happen. Because it's like what they see from Nigeria, they run to Cameroon. They see from Cameroon, they run to Nigeria, or Niger or Chad. And what do you expect? Mind you, the sovereignty of each country stands. And no Nigerian can even move to say he's going to Cameroon for one thing. You forget Interpol. Aside Interpol, there should be a military force on ground to check all this. Once upon a time, during the time of Shagari, and part of the time of RDB2, the gendarme of Cameroon visited, and we showed them the Nigerian in us, and they went back. That situation needs to be revisited until our soldiers, until our security architecture wakes up, until they do what they needful. Those things will never stand. And the worst thing they don't know is that if you refuse to check the north, it is like a geographical feature. If you refuse to check the north, the south will suffer. If you refuse to check the north, the east and west will suffer. How will they? Population explosion. How will they? Cost of things. How will they starvation in terms of food insecurity? How will they suffer? There will be more people that have been displaced in the up north coming to south to do what? To struggle with the social amenities and physical structures on ground. And by so doing, you are increasing inflation and importing crime. There are no two ways about that. So all parts of the country need to stand up against it, to say, no, we must not allow these things to come up. And until we go back to our constitution, to say that certain things in this constitution that is not right, let's put them aside. If not, we are only toying with our economy. With the life of the people. If not, all what we're doing are just nothing but just a case play. We need to be serious. We need to know, even in Russia, where banditry is the order of the day, there are still ways the government is checking it. Let us improve that. Let us not handle it with the kids and until we do that, there's no headway. Thank you.
Still on insecurity, Mr. Awa Omiko, right? We have the detained Binance executive in Nigeria. Binance is the cryptocurrency platform. This Binance executives, we know there were two of them, and one of them escaped custody. They are being held for several different charges, but all relate to the fact that they might be sponsoring that terrorism financing in the country. Binance Holdings Limited has come out to say that if there is any past issue, any alleged past issue with the Nigerian government, they are ready to settle it. They do not like the treatment that is being meted out to their executive, Tigran Gambarian. On Monday, we saw videos of this man on crutches asking the security agencies to please help him, and he was in pain. Even the court said, give him a wheelchair, let him come in a wheelchair, but then he wasn't giving all of this help that he needed. Now, here is what the Binance has said. They're saying Nigeria does not need to keep this executive in order for them to settle any alleged past issues. We will continue to implore the government to let Tigran return home and let us continue in our engagements. The federal government for the longest time has been trying to battle terrorism financing, right? And we know that NLC President Ajaero was invited sometime last week for questioning. Still on this, we have the issue of Binance. Would you say they are going about this the wrong way if we have someone like this who's been in their custody all this while, and yet it seems many Nigerians are saying it seems that nothing is coming out of it?
Look, it's a security issue. To tackle security issue, you have to use a multidimensional method. You have to use a multidimensional method. Where is architecture? Where is our security? Where is intelligence? The intelligence people in that aspect, that agency, either be it in the police, in the army, in the civilian, whatever sector or whatever group you fall into, should be able to speak with one voice. They should be able to stand and say, this is what we want. But in a place where a certain group of people have perpetrated themselves into these sectors, it appears as if whatever thing they may have agreed in their little enclave is what they are doing, that they're carrying out. It is these few people that, if you look at them, look at how they have infuriated in all, and that is not good. And they fail to know that we are killing ourselves. They are killing themselves equally. So what you need to do is release the executives, or the executives will help us in investigation. That is one. But some of these armories, do they fly? Do they come by air? Some of them came through ship. Some of them came through the cross borders. Some of them are even Nigerian, helping to escort it to the north. Until we are serious with everything called security, with everything called Nigeria. Let us say Nigeria. Until the spirit of patriotism is still in us, we are moving nowhere. It is not by anybody that offends government. You say it's doing security financing. Maybe I'm talking today, they may come tomorrow to arrest me. They'll say I'm actually inciting security, inciting the people against government. No, that is not it. They should allow the critics to talk, and they should listen to people. When you listen to people, you'll be able to act on those, and those executives should be released. Let us use what they have told us to up our games in terms of security. And when security is not up, when nothing goes, when nothing happens, when your security is weak, your country will be weak. And if this banditry continues, the next level they will attempt will be to attempt the presidency. For instance, now, economic things are not happening the way it should be across the country. Traveling has been put at the stop. Night travels that used to increase cottage industries, small little businesses are folding up because people are no longer traveling at night, and people are no longer bold enough to say they want to do businesses. Is that not crippling the economy? And that is through the security angle. Until we do the needful, we will continue to suffer what we are suffering now. Thank God, Lagos appears to be safe a little bit. By the time they will start encroaching the south and they start doing all these things they've been doing in the north, you will see that I think that will be when people will begin to wake up. Now we are suffering full insecurity. They fail to understand that the north is a food basket. Either you take it or leave it. It's a food basket of this country. The north and the middle belt, food basket of this country. And if nothing happens, if there is no security there, I doubt. Maybe one of these days, we may even be our money.
All right,
Mr.
Amiko, we're talking about the detaining and the charging to court of Binance executive. I really want to know from your perspective, right? Nigeria and the federal government has been trying for the longest time to woo investors to come into the country and invest in certain different areas, in certain different industries. With this treatment, do you still expect investors to come in if they feel like, if the federal government is not happy with them, or when there's any issue, this is what the executives will have to face? Do you expect investors to come and invest their money in Nigeria with issues like this?
Well, we keep on talking. It will not be. It doesn't all go well. We keep on talking. I know when you begin to treat executives like this, it discourages people to bring in their money, because investors want where they will make good profit and recoup their money in good time. And mind you, Nigeria is a market. It's a very big market. So if you really want investors to come, we should have friendly investors climate. We should make sure things work. We should make sure that security, the law, the policy is at peace with even those coming in. And it is until we do all this before you start seeing these investors coming in. They are human beings. They are coming here not just because they like Nigeria. They are coming here to make profit. And mind you, there's a level you could even hold them. They will even shun the country. And we pray, may that never be.
All right. I'm with you, Mr. Amiko. Please finish that thought.
I will ask the powers that be to legally handle it the way it should be. Let justice be done, and let it appear to be done. Let it appear and be seen to be done, and it help boost our economy.
From there, we move on to the issue of petroleum, which some Nigerians on social media today have described as the bane of Nigeria's existence. Earlier today, we saw videos that were posted online where the pump price of petrol in an NNPC filling station was increased to over 850 naira. We're also getting news that the federal government ordered the NNPCL to increase the pump price of petrol. The federal government has denied doing that. But then today, Dangote Petroleum has said it will hit filling stations in 48 hours. Now that we seem to have petrol being refined in the country, should we expect prices to go down?
Well, in economy, that's what it that's a common language there, which says port of production. In areas of port of production, things are often expensive than port of export or import. You see, it is a dynamic, international dynamic. Dangote is coming. The international players will not just give him a leeway, asking let him come. No, he has to fight it, because the economy of the world is dog eat dog. It's a rat race. So he has to fight for it. But where it comes in, and I go back to my level of patriotism, where comes in is that the government may give him a little leverage A leverage in the sense that will enable him to sell his product within the country. If he's giving some leverage to sell, maybe a period of 5, 6, 10 years, it's going to be like a pushback, like import substitution, which is a pushback. And this is what every nation of this world do to their own investors, indigenous investors. They will not allow foreigners to come to dominate. They do what it is regarded as import substitution to push back those foreigners coming to invest. So if Dangote is giving that leverage, let's say for 5, 10, 15 years, is giving that leverage, Nigeria price him and it works, it will go a very long way to bring down the price of this fuel. But because of the what will I even put it? How will I even put it? Let me just say the guerrilla economy system we are practicing. The guerrilla economy system where some people will be at the hem of affairs and milking the political business investors. They carry their briefcases around as if they own a business where there is no even company linked to their name. When you chase away these middlemen, chase them away, you see that the pump price will fall drastically because it's going to be a stiff competition. And in stiff competition, it favors the customer. Look at what is happening during the time of Glo, when Glo came into the system. MTN and Airtel were almost sniffing life out of the consumers.
Okay, Mr. Omiko, you understand that we cannot use brands, we cannot compare brands right here on air, all right? But then before you go, and because of our time, I want to quickly talk about another issue. Please hold your thoughts on that, right? We have a northern group which has come together and they're saying they want to begin a battle plan to sack the president from the presidential villa in 2027. We do know that many Nigerians are not happy with the current administration and they're saying they can't wait for 2027. The PDP has come out to say that Obi and Kwankwaso are still in talks with Atiku for a measure. We have the League of Northern Democrats saying they're coming up with a plan. Do you think there is any plan that is good enough, that is strong enough to displace APC in 2027? In a minute, so that we go.
I think that's a flash in the pan. That's a flash in the pan. The only thing APC needs to do, let them go back and reorganize their think tank and make sure that the economy works. All others are just a flash in the pan. I don't see anything so tangible in them. And if you do OB is a movement, a Labour Party is a movement, linking with Atiku, they have maybe strange bedfellows. Let us put it that way. It may appear to be workable now. They're going to be strange bedfellows because Atiku has his own motive, OB has his. And OB is for the youth and is driving a movement. And Atiku is carrying a burnt out light. So he's just there all the time, trying to reinvent himself. What is it that is coming to do that he has not done before?
Is that to say you feel like no measure, no group, no association can unseat the APC in 2027?
I firmly support that. I firmly support that. And I want all these things APC. What is really wrong with APC is that Tinubu himself is not in tune. If by tomorrow Tinubu gets his harmony right, gets it right, all those things will move ahead.
You feel like Nigerians will be happier and there will be no more talks of unseating him in 2027?
People want to be a populist president. That is why anything you tell him is, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. If he goes back to plan, all these things he's doing would have been properly organized before announcing it. Look at this. Now Dangote is coming up, and I know new things, more greater things will come up. Let him marry the economy, and let him make sure that the various regions are united. And I see APC coming up. The only way, if he does not do that, and he still falls on his ethnic enclave, like being there and allowing certain ethnic group, not being wanting to quell certain ethnic group, and that is where he's going to get it all. But if reorganize this nation, he allowed those policies he has to be made manifest, giving it a good shoot, I think Nigeria will move ahead.
Okay, Mr. Omiko, I must thank you for joining me on the World News at 6 this evening. Your presence and your analysis always makes all the difference. Thank you so much and do have a good evening. Thank you. You've been listening to Mr. Awa Omiko on the analysis segment right here on the World News at 6. And you're still listening to News at 6 on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Outside Nigeria, at least 51 people have been killed by a Russian missile attack on the Ukrainian city of Poltava, with more than 200 injured. The buildings hit included the Military Training Institute, which is Ukraine's armed forces, have confirmed soldiers were among those killed. Ukraine has denied the Russian reports that the missiles hit a military parade at the institute. Overnight, the Ukrainian military reported launches of Iskander missiles from occupied Crimea around the 430 kilometers away, which is within the missiles range. Well, that's it on the World News at 6. Just before we wrap up, here's a look at the top stories again. You heard that ISWAP has claimed responsibility for Yobe attack that claimed 87 lives. Dangote Petrol hits filling stations in 48 hours. NNPCL reaches agreement to sell crude oil to Dangote Refinery in Naira. And the Binance begs federal government for executives release. And the foreign scene, Russian attack on Ukraine military center kills 51. And that is a wrap on the World News at 6. My name is Chioma Innocent. To follow our social media handles at VOP 903FM. Good evening. Thank you for listening.